to Win Souls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas, and today we are going to be talking about confidence and basically how it is developed. I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, well, and this is completely different, but we hear it all the time. Oh, well, when you go and talk to that girl, be confident. Be yourself, but just be confident. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as just like confidence is something that you, like a little mask that you can just put on immediately, and then you just take it back off when you approach certain situations, right? And that's not what confidence is at all. Confidence isn't that. My definition of confidence and what we're about to see in this word is based on doing the things that aren't necessarily popular, doing the things that you don't necessarily want to do, but becoming skilled in those things, and then literally backing that skill up by the words that are coming out of your mouth and your actions, right? The other day we talked about procrastination. Procrastination is almost the exact opposite. It's like you haven't taken the time to develop the skill in that specific area, so you're not confident about it. And because of the lack of confidence, and because you don't necessarily believe that you'll be able to accomplish those things, guess what? You tend to go toward gratification, instant gratification, things that will make you feel good in that specific time period, rather than putting in the work that is necessary to develop that skill and to bring you to further and deeper places in the Lord. It's all about consistently doing the things that you don't want to do that will develop that confidence and even courage in those specific areas. But today we are going to be talking about confidence. Now, we're still talking about David. We're going to jump right into it. It's going to be 1 Samuel 17:34 through 16. Let me read that to you. It says, "But David said to Saul," now Saul at this time period is doubting David. David wants to go fight Goliath, all of this stuff. But at the same time, Saul is saying, look, man, you ain't nothing but a boy. How are you going to fight this trained soldier, this army man? Guess what? He says, "But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off the sheep from the flock, I went after it and struck it and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be no different." Now that is an extreme amount of confidence coming from a kid that's probably somewhere around 13, 14, 15 years old. That is an extreme amount of confidence. But guess what? He knew that his job was to tend to those sheep. He knew that his job was to shepherd those sheep. Usually shepherds carry weapons. Why? Because they are war ready. They're ready to fight to the death for the sheep. Just like Jesus was ready to fight for us. And die for us, right? And so if that's the case, then guess what? I'm pretty sure he might have been scared to fight those bears, might have been scared to fight the lion, might have been intimidated by those creatures that were taking away those sheep, right? But he did what he needed to do so that the sheep would be rescued. And it's the same thing with reading our Bible. It is the same thing with ministering to people. It is the same thing with everything that we want to accomplish in life. We're not going to feel like doing it. But guess what? Our feelings are in association with our heart. And Jeremiah tells us that we can't trust our heart. We can't necessarily trust our feelings and our emotion on things. We have to be able to trust this word and what it tells us we are. Notice I said what, not necessarily who, because we become a creature when we receive Jesus Christ. Okay? And so with that said, he literally took the time to fight off these things. It's literally through that struggle that we develop confidence, in the Lord. But if we don't ever read the word, if we don't ever take the time to read the word when we don't feel like reading the word, or read the word every single day at 3 o'clock in the morning, or every single time, drop everything. I have set this time aside to spend time with the Lord. Then guess what? We'll never see the greater things that he has for us, because we are not investing the time to even labor in the things that he would have us to labor in. We're not investing the time to get to know him. We're not investing the time to see the things that he can, will, and will not do in our specific lives. Okay, so here, David, time and time again, he's fighting off these lions. Time and time again, he's fighting off these bears for these sheep. And then he turns around and says, look, this Philistine is not going to be any different. So he took time struggling, fighting off these things time and time again, consistently doing it over and over and over and over again. He was used to fighting and going against the things that he was feeling in his heart. He was used to going against all doubt in his mind. He was used to not procrastinating and putting those things off and letting, the bear and the lion just carry off the sheep and say, okay, well, I'll go and try and find his remains tomorrow. No, now is the time to act. Now, we don't have time to plan. No, I got to jump in and I have to do something right now, because tomorrow isn't promised, and there's no guarantee that sheep is going to be here tomorrow. I can't wait for tomorrow. I have to do it today. And so by struggling, by persevering develops character, and that character is being shown here. That character is being shown here. That confidence was developed by constantly putting himself in the fire, by constantly putting himself in areas that he didn't feel like doing, or in areas that he didn't necessarily want to move in. It came through putting himself through challenges of fighting things that were so much bigger than him, and still coming out victorious, watching the Lord move through him. That when this giant came through, when Goliath came through, guess what? It was just like, look, you ain't gonna be no different from the things that I have already fought. I have fought things that were bigger than me. I have accomplished those things, and you're not going to be any different than that. I've been scared. I've been in this place so many times, and I have fought through it every single time, that now, you can run your mouth all you want to. You can have all of these people fearful, but I'm not running from you. Regardless of whether I win or lose, I'm going to fight. And I'm going to fight to the death. I'm going to fight until there's no dying, there is no breath within me. And that's the way that we need to be approaching this Christian walk. But if we never invest the time, if we never take those steps in areas that make us feel uncomfortable, then we will never fight these lions. We will never fight these bears. And then when Goliath shows up, when Satan shows up face to face and he's ready for war, you'll quiver, you'll run. And, if you always run from challenges, guess what? You'll always be in the same place. You'll never grow in the Lord the way that the Lord would have you grow. You have to take a step in the unknown. I love you guys. Be blessed. And develop some confidence by doing all of the things that make you feel so uncomfortable, especially in this Christian walk, because that is the sole purpose of why we are here. Have a good one.